The events that I'm about to describe are going to sound incredible to most people. I saw them happen. They happened to me.
In case you pass out, that's tough.
It wouldn't be a Joe's Drive-In Halloween marathon without a universal classic. While the Black Lagoon trilogy is their most famous work during the 50s, their first entry into the atomic age was It Came from Outer Space from 1953. Could there be a more classic sci-fi title? Could there be a more classic sci-fi soundtrack? I love it. You know, there are a lot of It movies in this era. It Conquered the World, It Came from Beneath the Sea, It, The Terror from Beyond Space, From Hell It Came. How many It's are there? Luckily for us, with a story by the legendary science fiction author Ray Bradbury, this It is probably the best It. The movie starts with one sweet title sequence. A meteor flies toward the screen to remind you that this movie was in 3D. Sure, you can see the reflection of the effect on screen, but it's still really cool and must have looked great when it came out. The meteor crashes in the Arizona desert. John Putnam sees the crash from his home along with his fiancée, Ellen, and decides to investigate. John's not scared of anything. Ellen's an astrology girl.
I'm a Scorpio, and a Scorpio always gets along well with a Sagittarius.
Be careful, bro. When John gets to the meteor, he finds it's actually a spaceship and catches a glimpse of what could be an alien. Of course, he's the only witness, so who could have guessed, but nobody believes him.
What would you say if I had found a Martian down there?
I'd say hold him for a circus.
But this is a little different than your average disbelief. In this movie, everyone's gotta be kind of a dick about it.
What's the amateur astronomer's point of view?
He's widely ridiculed as some failed reporter that just wants the publicity.
Individual and lonely, a man who thinks for himself.
A young publicity-seeking astronomer.
Like, damn, get off his ass. What did John do to you?
Those fools.
Enter the aliens themselves. Their true forms are rarely seen, only being portrayed through point-of-view shots. The aliens have the ability to transform into humans. That's cool. They can turn into anyone, able to perfectly disguise themselves.
Don't be afraid. It is within our power to transform ourselves to look like you.
I do find it really funny that when they turn into people, they look the same as they did before, but when they transform into Ellen, they make sure to dress her up all nice. I mean, this is It Came from Outer Space we're talking about here. You gotta have that sex appeal. The aliens are not malicious at all, not having any desires other than fixing their ship in peace. They do not wish to harm anyone, and for some reason, especially not John, as they implore him to trust them.
Keep away, John Putnam. We don't want to hurt you. You least of all. We don't want to hurt anyone.
The aliens aren't 100% pacifist though, as they do kidnap anyone whose appearance they take and hide them away. Although this is mainly done so they can get the job done and leave. However, their true nature is called into question when it's revealed that they possess a giant space gun with the power to destroy planets. Why would you have such a thing in the first place if you claim to be peaceful? They warn John that if they aren't allowed to do their thing, then they fully intend to use it and destroy everything.
Give us time. Time or terrible things will happen. Things so terrible you have yet to dream of them.
I really like the effects in this movie. The alien version of Ellen has a little handheld laser, and they actually went the extra mile to have it interact with the environment. You don't often get that level of detail in these movies, and it's super cool.
I've got to see you as you really are. Come out or I can't take the responsibility of protecting you.
Very well then. You asked to see this, so you shall.
You barely see it, but the aliens have a great design too. They have a single intimidating eyeball surrounded by what seems to be hair or something. It expels fog too, which looks amazing and was a genius decision, and leave behind a trail of sparkling cosmic dust wherever they go. Originally, the aliens weren't meant to be seen at all, but producers felt this wouldn't satisfy the audience. They made a good call with that because we ended up with something unique. Fun fact, while it's never stated in the film, promotional material and scripting refer to the aliens as xenomorphs. This is incredibly interesting as a much more well-known xenomorph would come along several years later. The POV alien shots are ahead of their time, adding mystery to the aliens. They're super detailed too, even showing a reflection of the eyeball. In later years, the POV shot would become a staple of horror movies, especially in the slasher genre. This, combined with various jump scares and fake-out scares, make this movie an early pioneer of modern horror. At first glance, it's easy to think that It Came from Outer Space is your standard 50s B-movie, but it's one of the smartest entries the decade has to offer. The true heart of the movie is that this is a story of trust. It's about how John and the aliens must blindly accept and trust one another without letting fear take over.
Then why don't they come out in the open?
Because they don't trust us. Because what we don't understand, we want to destroy.
The reason the aliens refuse to reveal their true form is because they know humans will immediately attempt to destroy what they don't understand.
We are not yet ready to meet in friendship.
Why not?
Because you would be horrified at the sight of us.
They make a point that humans will harm and kill what is different to them, which could be an allegory for all types of things.
Let us stay apart, the people of your world and ours. For if we come together, there will only be destruction.
This can be applied to race, religion, sexuality, and for all we know, this could have been a pro-communism movie. The message is obvious enough to get the point across, but vague enough to be applied to whatever you like, allowing you to form a connection. The movie ends on a great quote, stating that the aliens will be back someday, but only when we're ready for them, perhaps in a time that is more accepting. Interpret this as you will.
Well, they've gone.
For good, John?
No, just for now. It wasn't the right time for us to meet.
It Came from Outer Space is a very good movie, and I'd even put it close to The Day the Earth Stood Still in terms of quality. Upon release, the film's detractors claimed the movie felt too long despite the 80-minute runtime. While I suppose there is some truth in that, as the plot could be summed up like a Twilight Zone episode, I never found it to drag enough to be detrimental.
Come out where I can see you.
No.
The movie wasn't originally written to be about the aliens, so the human characters are well written and stand on their own. One of the best scenes doesn't involve the aliens at all, but instead this gripping monologue from the sheriff, Warren.
Did you know, Putnam, that more murders are committed at 92 degrees Fahrenheit than any other temperature?
Despite initially lukewarm reviews, It Came from Outer Space has gone on to be branded a classic and is one of the shining examples from the atomic age.
Look.
What's that?
Pleasant nightmares, friends.
Good midnight to you.